Neon's artificial human avatars were the viral hit of CES before the show had even begun. It had everything the internet needed to drive itself into a frenzy: giant corporate backing courtesy of Samsung, futuristic sci-fi avatars that look like humans, and a huge dose of confusion. Redditors combed over the internet for more details about Neon and these futuristic artificial humans. YouTuber Good Content managed to put together a surprisingly detailed dossier on a company that hasn't even existed more than half a year. And so Neon announced itself to the world in a press release heavy on machine learning jargon, an opaque mission statement, and an awful lot of hyperbole. According to Neon creator and Star Labs boss Pranav Mistry, Neons will integrate with our world and serve as new links to a better future, a world where humans are humans and machines are humane. They're envisioned as digital conversation partners where interactions will be a lot more like how you interact with other humans. The mission seems to be a softer, more empathetic connection with our future digital assistants, which sounds nice. But how does it all work? Well, it's actually quite difficult to untangle, and believe me, I've tried. Neon is both the name of the company and the name of the digital avatars we saw here at CES. And they're composed of two different types of technology. First up, we have Core R3, which stands for Reality Real-Time Responsive. Now, this is responsible for how these avatars are looking and how the gestures and interactions are represented. It combines proprietary technology with neural networks to create these avatars that seem almost human. So yes, the Neons being demonstrated at CES this year were based on human people, although all the gestures and communication was apparently generated independently. The early videos of Neons which we saw last week and got everyone excited were just plain old humans. So the Core R3 results themselves were still pretty impressive, but they were far from the buttery smooth videos we were promised last week. Now, how do you make a Neon? Well, the Core R3 itself was trained on people, trained on their gestures, how they speak, and how they interact. When Neon creator Mistry took to the stage at CES, he showcased exactly how far the company has come in just 4 months. He walked a packed audience through early models which were replicating the gestures and facial expressions of an engineer on the team. Once that level of replication was at a high enough standard, they then moved on to transposing that engineer's face onto other people and how they talked. It was all pretty deepfake-ish. The next stage is the interesting one, the idea of these avatars just making their own expressions, talking their own thoughts, without any pre-existing input. The Neons contain millions of different processes for making gestures or facial expressions. So if, say, an engineer wanted to make a Neon smile, the Neon could then express that smile in several different ways. Once the Neon has decided which smile to perform, there's even more customizability here. The Neon spokesperson was able to adjust the eyebrows and even the eye gaze, and that's kind of just as weird as you might think it is. Eyebrows aside, what else is a Neon capable of at this point? Well, it can speak multiple languages. In the demo, one avatar reeled through Chinese, Korean, and Hindi, although I don't know exactly what she said. But it's nothing really that far removed from Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa. There are chatbots that have similar levels of conversational ability. The voice too was of a really oddly low quality. This is 2020. It sounded like it was from 2005.
Would you like me to factor some crimes? Just kidding.
But barring some initial expressions and reactions to the questions, the Neon itself was pretty stoic and, dare I say it, a little dead behind the eyes. There's some uncanny valley vibes here and it's kind of uncomfortable. Mouth tracking was especially rough, but the biggest disappointment has to be the level of interaction at this demo. The avatar answered the questions when it understood, but that wasn't always the case. And like I've said earlier, the responses themselves weren't exactly that rich.
That's not really something I care about.
That's where the second half of Neon comes in, Spectra. This is the platform that will program how these avatars learn and communicate. It'll give them memory. It's the kind of sci-fi magic behind this entire project. And it's also what's missing from these CES demos. And even at this early stage, Neon is quick to define what these avatars are and what they are not. They are apparently not smart assistants. These are conversational partners, and they won't be reeling off random internet facts or singing you a ditty. In an interview, Mistry told me he imagined an old person wanting to have a conversation with someone and that they wouldn't want a robot just to spout facts at them. Despite all these lofty goals, these are simply Alexa and Siri with eyebrows and teeth. Neon's Mystery is keen to see how everyone reacts to his avatars. And given the keen interest from everyone, I'm sure the Starlab backers Samsung will be very happy. But these avatars need purpose, they need an aim, they need to be able to do more than just simple voice assistant commands. Neon believes that one day these avatars could be used as hotel concierges, as actors, as newsroom readers, but that's a long way from here. The press conference was packed with representatives from hotels, banks, and more, all sat behind several rows of very skeptical tech reporters. It was a tough crowd, and by the end of the presentation and the demos, the words ambitious and unfair came to mind. You can see where Neon's avatars are going, but at this early stage, the overexcitement and enthusiasm of everyone around it meant it just simply couldn't deliver on the hype. Neon's own booth was quite a distance from Samsung's own, but the association was enough to whip everyone into a frenzy. The tech press, hi, hello, can be pretty unforgiving, but I don't think Neon has done much wrong. Yes, it had an over-enthusiastic press release, and that's something everyone's guilty of, and teasers that didn't represent the actual results on the ground. But these are truly very early days. Let's see what Neon has in store for CES 2021.
Yes, that is absolutely right.
For all things CES this year, check out Engadget.com.